Core processes. At the heart of the team's processes is the continual engagement of the consumer with the team. In order for a consumer to remain engaged with the team must consistently help the individual in ways that are meaningful to that person. This requires a process of regularly assessing the consumer's needs and preferences, planning individualized interventions, making certain those interventions are carried out, checking the consumer's response to the interventions, and changing the interventions as needed. This ongoing process of assessment and reassessment allows the team to quickly adjust the type and amount of contact they have with each consumer.
One week you'll go and they'll say, oh, well, I don't want to be with you guys this week, come back next week. You go out next week, so they're not around. So it's constantly going back, you know. Some of them are also very elusive, so you have to keep going out, making phone calls, maybe connecting with the mother, maybe the brother, spouse, you know, using the people around them to sort of leverage, I guess, a way to get in. And they look at us and say, oh, you guys again, ready to push medications. I said, okay, you don't want to deal with meds, but how are you doing otherwise? Are you eating okay? Do you have heat in the house? So they'll say, oh, well, you know, I got my check, but I don't have enough money. So we'll take them out, have them probably go to Dunkin' Donuts and have a cup of coffee. And this is how we begin to be creative and sort of take it from a different angle and sit with them and say, okay, well, maybe next week when we're coming back, we could bring you something. What would you like? They'll say, oh, well, my jeans are pretty old, so we'll buy them a pair of jeans and we'll bring it. So then we'll get to go inside the house because then they have to try it on. So we watch them and they try it on. We get also to look around, obviously. We take turns every time we need to go out. Say, for example, I won't be going out every week unless it's a nursing issue and I'm needed immediately to go out. But we try to rotate the people on the team to go out, sure. And then that way you don't get that redundancy. Yeah.
You speak English okay?
Yes.
Yeah, my name is James Shipman. I'm new with the PAC team.
All right.
I'm the MICA specialist. I work with the substance abuse, and that's why I'm here. I want to talk to you about those issues.
Team members gather information about an individual while working with that person in their home and community. This information and information from records is assembled into a comprehensive assessment and historical timeline.
Zach, we began working with while he was in high school. He was always considered a bad kid. That's what he kept on hearing, and that's what his family kept on hearing. This is a kid that's using drugs. He's going to end up in jail. He has all of these antisocial behaviors.
Before I got into the ACT team, wasn't doing good in school, got on probation, just wasn't doing good.
Zachary's diagnosis varied depending on what doctor he saw. There were three different diagnoses, actually, within probably a year and a half.
And doing a thorough assessment, let's go all the way back. When did the challenges start happening? What were the behaviors? But also, what was he feeling at that point? And with Zach, you know, once we were able to go all the way back and kind of piece together, it's very cyclical. This is what's going on. He doesn't know how to communicate what's going on. Once he learned how to say, you know, the walls are very wavy, I can't think straight, my mind is racing. Once he was able to use those words, we're able to figure out what's going on with him clinically and then get appropriate care for him.
Next, team members use this information to develop a treatment plan that specifies what each team member will do and how often. The treatment plan is designed to help a consumer meet goals that are important to him or her. Then a team member reviews the plan with the consumer.
We have treatment plan meetings in which treatment plans are discussed. A plan comes out of it. Someone goes out and meets with the consumer about what their treatment plan is, what their goals, what they want to work on. We may talk about what we feel they may need to work on. However, if they don't want to work on it, we kind of need to give up control in that situation and allow that person to work on what they're willing to work on.
Activities from the treatment plan are translated into a weekly schedule of contacts with the consumer.
We'll put the information on one of our cards. It's just very basic, has their name, has the initials to the treatment team.
Prior to the team's daily meeting, the scheduled activities for that day are written in the appropriate time slots on the daily schedule, along with the names of the team members who will carry out the activities.
The schedule will break down by staff member. We'll determine what the hours they're working, whether there's any particular meetings that day.
The person developing the schedule also checks for crisis situations, hospitalizations, appointments, and other activities that need to be addressed that day, and schedules these. Scheduling conflicts are addressed during the daily team meeting.
We coordinate the appointments on the calendar into the schedule to make sure all the clients' needs are met.
During the daily team meeting, the team goes through the daily communications log and briefly discusses consumers' progress. As a consumer's name is called, any team member who has had contact with that person in the past 24 hours describes the outcome of the contact in behavioral terms. This process allows the team to continually assess the effectiveness of the treatment plan.
She was really doing well. She was so pleased. She said the hospital really helped. I did update her parents before I picked her up, and her mother was quite upset, saying that she was just terrible and they couldn't believe that they were releasing her. However, she was very peaceful. There wasn't the attention to internal stimuli. Her thoughts were focused and organized. I mean, just a great change. They put her on Cogentin PRN, Risperidol, 2 milligrams in the AM and the PM, and Depakote, I think 500 milligrams in the AM and 1,000 at night. But they did not write scripts for that. And they also lost her Medicaid card. So, yes, so they could not find. Well, I went to Department of Human Services here in Alvin.
Problems that can be addressed quickly are discussed during the daily meeting. A separate meeting of key team members is scheduled to resolve more involved problems. After all of the activities that need to occur that day have been identified, the team will make adjustments to the team's schedule if needed. This will make certain that none of the activities or contacts that need to happen that day are left undone.